foundation of the story always the same. People from another planet came to this planet and they started a breakaway of civilization. They start to engage existing on this planet genetically, like turned into a worker, a slave. And these abandoned seed of colony has just hanging, trying to find a way, a hope for us to understand. In Numerous, it's the seven tablets of creation, Akkadian, Akkadian form text. And these tablets, they were at the library of Ashurbarna, as they discovered that the ultra high seas also in another amazing text, the account written in another telling similar story of being come from another place and have engaged with mankind. And now what's interesting about this is what to understand that it's time for us to need that we were copied and created. Like everyone want to be inspired like George Lucas, incredible sci-fi movies, right? But the tablets these are being subscribing specifically to told us that their God were the Lord of the Master of the writing, experiencing themselves at that time. And now I don't know if you ever seen the rite of kuni uniforms, which it's really will take a stone of tablet and start wedging in the text. And it may incredible the sci-fi, probably close to the truth, possibly to get Uranus, planet Uranus. And we know that Uranus planet is one of the solar system affected by the gravitational object and came through the solar system, which is titled as known as Uranus, doesn't have an equation orbit to itself. Actually, it almost flipping over and over the side. Reason is important because this Enuma Elish authorities and it takes about actual planet for something large that's coming through the solar system. In the ancient time, they're talking about millions of years affecting in the gravitational fields and these planets and all moons in our solar system. And now, as you know, the true because of the scientists teach in it and everywhere and classes and in a huge what was gravitationally captured by the solar system and came through just like these stone tablets. The stone tablets are start backing up information of modern science. And now we're finding closely the truth possibility going in like something giant came through the actually several passes of these thousands and thousand years back started in the Yankee, like Uranus flipped on its side. And now a lot of people know that this is a Milky Way galaxy, and you know, see how the sun is actually showing you exactly like the sun shows you as a disk sphere and a Milky Way around it. And around this galactic equator, there have been a nice, quiet area of space that a lot of caps trophy and capstone that constantly moving at the very distant around the galactic equator, whereas it's closer to the star and it would aid in much faster ride. But the interesting thing about it that uh, uh, it it's related to astrology, and it's related what I'm talking about, it's related to Sagittarius especially. So from what we were impressing the Anunnaki tablets, and the scientists know we're not from here, we're not from this world. And imagine the shock growing the loving family with people who call mom and dad and suddenly learning that you are actually adopted. Happens in real life. It happens in real life. A lot of us were then realized they were adopted. A micron sky. Same thing in the earth. Like we think we are from earth, but we came and being copied and breeded by outers. Astronomers and answering like questions like baffle scientists and decades proving that our own Milky Way galaxy is consuming one of its neighbor. Then dramatic its ongoing galactic cannibalism. So the study published as Astrophysical Journal in the first step of the map, the full extent of the Sagittarius galaxy, which is the house of the parent, wraps in our passes of our Milky Way. And Sagittarius is 10,000 times smaller than the masses that getting stretched out from the goblet of the bigger Milky Way. So if you ever go at night watching out the night sky in a nice area or light pollution and look up, you will see that giant band stars that whipping across the It's not the Milky Way. Like you see it like a star, a drop like this, and they call it, they have a tail and do all these things. It's written in Sagittarius dwarf galaxies. So it's important because right where the Sagittarius dwarf is a constellation. The Sagittarius dwarf in galaxy right actually in the merges of the midst of the little tiny dot. And now as a little tiny yellow dot, it's being swallowed by the Milky Way. So we are also known by doing a reverse calculation to the trajectory of the Sagittarius that merged that what the solar system that we are in the Milky Way. We were actually There were actually aliens where don't belong even belong to the galaxy. So do aliens exist? We are sitting right here. Like, does alien exist? We're sitting right here. We're the aliens in the universe. Like, what you are on, but you're not gonna see another shape. It's being consumed in gravitational merging, and with this the Milky Way. So exactly point of meets as where we are. Oh, our souls as hemisphere and like from where it came. Yeah, it comes from a different realities. It comes from a different dimension. Like there's people are multidimensional. There is intellectual. There is people are all. There is people out of the solar system. Like they came from a Milky Way, totally different. It's like bloodlines, totally different from what Earth, Moon, Sun, and even the people in the Earth, we would call them aliens. Uh, Discover. See, if it's either you have to live suppressed and unhappy, or unsuppressed and makes nobody happy, and that will get an enormous example that you are not from here. The ancient tablets said it 1,000 years ago, as the old modern science tell us that the same exact story. It is the same exact story. Anunnaki bars in the DNA, Elohim light, and all the galactic beings that came together to create the V project, which is called Moon, Sun, and Earth. They did the Earth, and then the Moon came. And if you read in history, you will realize that there's a time there was no moon because the moon is artificial intelligence. There was no moon. And the moon came and they started doing drums on the pans and howling to the moon. But it's artificial intelligence, so the mechanism of it, how it works, it represents your inner soul, the moon. So the whole creation of creativity, it's truly a divine spark, but it's like a collective of a galactic federation, a galactic beings that made an experiment called an Earth, and they name it V Project, and it's written in the tablets through the ancient. It's actually it's been in the stone. Like they're not gonna do all this hard effort on stones that right now you don't have machine to craft it the way they craft it. You know, see the high technology they had for a tourist to just go watch it, to go to watch a tablet, like there is helicopter and submarines and everything that it is now. At that time they put it in the tablet. That shows you that our universe is high artificial intelligence. Like now they say that we made artificial intelligence. No, motherfuckers, you didn't make artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence have to come from artificial intelligence. You cannot be in an old version and do artificial intelligence like the CNC machines and the AI robots and all these. You can't do the artificial intelligence if you are in the law. But you know, so they gave us technology, but from the back. I wanted to share this story. It's called the Gaia Awakening.